So, who are you?
Right, my name's Jim Dawkins, or the author of a book called The Loose Screw. Basically, my background is I was a prison officer, having come out of the army. Went straight into the prison service, thinking it offered me the same sort of financial security and camaraderie that I found in the army. Couldn't have been far further from the truth. I happened to find a lot of the element of people I was working with in the new job was had this bully boy element behind them, and over the years I just began to detest it more and more. I found myself finding it easier to actually get a relationship with the prisoners, a working relationship with the prisoners, and I actually got on really well with most of the guys, particularly in the high-risk Cat A unit where I worked in Belmarsh. One of them being Dave Courtney himself. And since having decided to leave the prison service some 7 years later, I was influenced to actually write a book, and I found it very therapeutic. People want to know about Dave Courtney, what Dave was like inside, and I'd like to describe him best as a naughty schoolboy, a bit like a Jess William character, if you like. He used to there's different ways of bucking the system, as you probably all know, and Dave's way was to attack it with his own unique brand of humour. He used to pull all sorts of pranks just in order to upset the apple cart of the day. Nothing malicious, just silly little pranks to keep people laughing and people giggling. There's a few little funny stories I can remember. One that sticks out above all the rest was the trip to the doctors from the Cat A unit. If you can imagine, the Cat A unit is a unit within the prison, separate with its own prison wall, and it obviously takes quite a lot of resources and money to actually move a prisoner from that unit to the main unit, which is where they house the medical centre. Dave decided to try and see if he could get an appointment with the doctor one day. So he put a normal application in to go and see the doctor, who was asked what was the problem. He said, "I don't know what the problem is. I've got a problem with my arse. I'd just like the doctor to have a look up my arse for me." They tried to get some more info out of him, but he just said, "It's personal. I don't want to talk about it. I just need to see the doctor." Obviously, they had to oblige him, and after some weeks of preparing this visit to the doctor at extreme cost to the Home Office and the prison service, we marched him over with helicopters, dog escorts, shut down the whole prison, got him into the doctor's surgery. Dave promptly dropped his trousers and bent over the doctor's desk. Doctor had a look with his little torch and said, "I don't see what the problem is, Mr. Courtney." And Dave said, "Problem?" He said, "I never said there was a problem. I just said I wanted a doctor to have a look up my arse. And now you've done that, I can go, thank you very much." And obviously, I just sat there biting my lip. I was falling about the place, wanted to just fall out the window. All the rest of them were red-faced. They just couldn't believe he had the audacity to sort of come out with a little stunt like that. And it had probably cost him about $2 or $3 grand, I suppose, in the resources to get him over there. Just sums Dave up and his little pranks, to have a little dig at the system.
And what's your book about?
My book basically is about my experiences in the prison service. Obviously, there's a chapter on there about Dave and many more of those pranks I've just described. There's a little bit about Charlie Bronson, who was another influential character that I met, who most of you will probably know about. And it's just about I've put some background of my life in there, just to explain where I came from and why perhaps I came to have the attitude that I had, and dislike bullying and unnecessary sort of power trips by certain people. So it's basically just a chronological sort of chapters of my life, particularly obviously focusing on the prison service side of the life and the things that I saw that certain prison officers got up to that I didn't agree with. For example, I found myself locking up people who were doing 2 or 3 years for ABH, having had a fight in the pub at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and yet I found myself working alongside prison officers who are supposedly in a professional capacity, who were doing the exact same crime on a daily basis, although getting away with it because they could cover it up and corroborate the stories together, turn cameras off, falsify statements, and also have the full backing of the senior management within that prison. And I just decided enough was enough, and broke ranks, and decided to write a book about it.
How do you think your fellow prison officers view that?
I've had mixed reactions actually from certain. I've had quite a few people that have written back, albeit anonymously. Obviously, they won't put names to the faces, but they've said that I've had a lot of reaction that said it's something that was long overdue. Obviously, something I've highlighted in the book is that I'm not tarring every single prison officer with the same brush as the ones that I'm perhaps describing, but I'm trying to say that it's that select element of the bully boy element in the prisons, which is dragging down the other officers that want to actually do a professional and decent job, and they're unable to do so because they feel so intimidated by that element that seems to rule the landings and the prisons in this country. And to that end, a lot of prison officers have actually come back to me and said, "Well done, brilliant book. We couldn't write one ourselves because we don't want to leave the job. You know, it's job security. But we appreciate what you said, and we do recognise that does actually go on within our walls." The others, I haven't had any, obviously, verbal comments back off, but I do get some funny comments and some funny looks, particularly when I go to visit Charlie in Wakefield, going through the visits process of actually booking in through the visits desk. I get a mixed reaction, obviously, and you can just tell by the way they're looking at me that they're disgusted in what I've actually come out, and it's like I've broke ranks, and I'm speaking about a taboo subject, you know.
And final question: what's the name of the book?
The book's called The Loose Screw. It's published by Apex Publishing, which is small publishers. It's doing really well at the moment. We're having a bit of trouble, obviously, getting it distributed. There's certain national press newspapers won't touch it because of the controversy behind it, I suppose. But it is doing really well, and Dave is doing all he can to help me obviously promote it from his end as well.